How do you like to finish the college basketball season paying under $30 per week? Between now and Selection Sunday on March 12th, there's still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special that will include the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. That's right, from Monday, February 27th through Monday, April 3rd, there are 5 full weeks of hoops action, which breaks down to under $30 per week. Sign up for this promotion now on your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship in Houston on Monday, April 3rd, plus all non-March Madness tourneys, including the NIT and CBI, all for only $149. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experiences in sports. Some call March Madness the most exciting time in sports betting, so act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time. Grab your favorite college basketball handicapper, or perhaps add 2 or 3 college hoops experts to make this March Madness not only exciting, but also profitable. No coupon is needed, just head to the homepage of the handicapper of choice and lock the $149 price in now. As the earlier you sign up, the more days you receive.
Hey guys, welcome in and a happy Friday to you now here, March the 3rd, and huge slate of games on the hardwood, both in college hoops and as well as the association, as 10 games ready to roll here tonight. We're going to break down a few of them for you, see if we can find a couple of edges and some places to bet, and we're going to do it with 3 of our favorites here, the Friday crew on the NBA tip-off show in the house, as the prop god Andy Lang hanging with us there, ready to roll, as is Dwayne Bryant back in the saddle again, of course, Double R, 1L, Steve Merrill, ready to go here in what is going to be one hell of a weekend for hoops here. We're coming down to the stretch here, regular season, not only with college hoops, but of course the NBA here. So a lot of teams trying to get in, make sure their playoff lives will be taking place, and some not, Andy. So it's an intriguing part of the season here in the NBA. Was there anything on the schedule tonight that piqued your interest over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, it's looking great. It really is a great card for me personally. For props, it's a great night of props. I do have to note to everybody, just a little notice. Joe comes on and says we have 3 of the best. Today he said we have 3 of our favorites. So I don't know. I don't know if he's saying anything to us, but I noticed that little difference. So things are going great. Let's hope we have a better night than $2 Tuesday. But we're still on a really nice 8-3 run in the NBA, and it's an inside-outside joke. It's a great night. Looks like a great weekend. UFC, we got a huge card. 5% is up there. NHL hockey props have been going good, and for me personally, it's the first Formula One race of the season, and we have our auto racing pack up. So really, really big weekend for most of the sports. Auto racing, very excited to get kicked off. So looking forward to a good night tonight. Get the weekend started off right.
Damn right. Time to cash some tickets. And listen, man, all 3 of my favorites here on the show on a Friday. It doesn't get any better than that. It's fine. It's fine. Dwayne Bryant, what is going on, my man? I know you are locked, loaded, ready to roll here tonight. You're also ready to go the complete opposite of whatever these guys say today. So we're always looking forward to that. What do you got for us, though, locked and ready to go at WagerTalk.com?
Well, I have my strongest NBA side and my strongest NBA total of the day, both available right now at WagerTalk.com. My NBA side should be a blowout winner. It's backed by team-specific situational angles that have gone a combined 30 and 4, 88% this season. My NBA totals winning streak was snapped at 7 last night, but I'm ready to start a new streak tonight, and I got a strong total that's backed by team-specific situational angles that have gone a combined 29 and 4, 88% this season. Both plays are available right now at Dwayne Bryant at WagerTalk.com.
Love it, guys. And of course, Double R1L Merrill is ready to roll heading into the weekend. He just came off the college basketball tip-off show, so you guys should definitely check that out as we broke down some of these upcoming games tonight in college. But you had mentioned on there, Merrill, NBA, big slate of games here tonight. You got one or two that you are looking forward to.
I'll do you one better, Joe. I've got three. And by the way, Andy, I think he said three of the best for college hoops, so I'll take that. And I love that he said three of the favorites for this show because I know I'm the best in the NBA, damn it. I'm number one right now in 2023 at WagerTalk.com. 30-18, up 41 units already this calendar year. And that's less than one game a day, right? 48 plays so far, actually 2 pushes. So 50 plays in 60-some days. I've got 3 tonight. To say I like this NBA card would be an understatement. Number one ranked NBA continues with a 3-pack tonight. Now, you can get all 3 a la carte, or you can do the 7-day special for $39 with Dunk 39. You got to have that promo code Dunk 39. And speaking of college hoops, I do have a free play in college basketball. My top college recommendation is free tonight on the page. 70% free play run the past month. And my March Madness tournament is loaded. You can win up to a free year, a $2,000 value by entering for free right now. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, guys, plenty of opportunities to make it a hell of a profitable start to the weekend. And we're going to bust down a few games here, see if we can't find a few edges for you. And the contrarian gods, well, they have got a little something in store for us here tonight, it appears. They are 3-1 this week. That's right, 3-1, as Teddy, as usual, pissed them off this week, so now they're on a roll. So let's see what the... Oh, no, Chicago, of course. Chicago, the Bulls, 3.5 now, and that has... that's been coming down, huh? So somebody's got to like the Bulls. Apparently the contrarian gods do against the Phoenix Suns. Why? Well, let's be realistic. Everyone is running to the window, Andy, and backing Phoenix to win everything here from this point forward. The gods ain't buying it, though, tonight on the road. What are you seeing in this matchup? Anybody in particular we should be looking at as well?
Well, I wrote an article for WagerTalk.com today on this game, and of course I took the Suns. I could not come up with any stats that would make me want to bet on the Chicago Bulls, which makes this a perfect contrarian gods play. If there's no stats that back it up, if there's no reasoning that backs it up, and if the public is against it, of course we have to roll with the contrarian gods. They're 3-1 this week, so I'm not gonna tempt them. I'm gonna have to change my article and just go with the Bulls. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's a couple plays. I talked about it on earlier show about Vucevic. His points, or not his points, his rebounds and assist prop has gone under. And I think this play is a little bit correlated. So you look at Vucevic coming off the All-Star break. He keeps going just a little bit under his rebounds and assists. And it's partially because this guy, Patrick Beverley, keeps going over his rebounds. 5, 7, and 10 rebounds in 4 games with the Bulls. And the books are putting this at 3.5 rebounds tonight. Beverley's playing a ton of minutes. His minutes have gone up every single game he's played with the Bulls. The Suns actually tied for rebounding with Charlotte in their only game with Durant there. And the 2 starting guards for Charlotte had 6 and 9 rebounds. So we have, the 1 game sample size with Durant there, but the guards of the opposing team did really good on rebounding. And we're looking at a Phoenix team that tied with rebounding against Charlotte in a game that they won handily. So I think you can go to Patrick Beverley over his rebounds, and you can go to Vucevic under his rebounds and assists. The plays are a little bit correlated, but it's a touch juicy. I believe it's minus 135 or minus 140. I'll be fine with laying the juice for a unit or two. So give me Beverley over his rebounds.
All right, Patrick Beverley up and over his rebounds there with a lean towards the Bulls, basically because he had to write the article, and it was earlier anyway. So Dwayne, talk to us here. Of course it makes sense, right? The Suns should win this game. They're a better team than Bulls, but are you buying that here?
I don't really have a lot to say about the side in this game. My SDQL research of situational data didn't really pull too much for this non-conference game. But I will say this: I'm a contrarian by nature. So when I look at this line, I'm trying to imagine what a public bettor is thinking when they see this line for the first time. And I imagine they're thinking they can get the Suns, who just made the splash at the trade deadline by landing Kevin Durant. So now they can get the Durant led Suns at a fairly short number against a Bulls team that's only covered 2 games out of its last 10. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of bets and a lot of Suns tickets tonight. So me being a contrarian at heart, it's not too often that I'm going to disagree with the contrarian gods, and I'm sure not disagreeing with them here. It just looks too easy to me to take the Suns here in this short number. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with the contrarian gods and say Chicago gets the money tonight.
Yep, Chicago getting some points at home, and there's no doubt, Merrill. Listen, Chicago's been the whole Patrick Beverley, go figure. Patrick Beverley shows up, him and Caruso in the backcourt. The defense is a million times better. Guys are starting to play better there. They certainly have enough firepower to go toe-to-toe with Phoenix. But are you willing to take the points with the contrarian gods here, or is it Phoenix for you?
What's even crazier is this line opened 5.5 last night in most locations. If you look at WagerTalk live odds, it says 6.5. But if you dig deeper, like Circa, Westgate, some of the big offshores, they basically opened 5.5. There was the one preliminary low limit offshore book earlier in the afternoon that opened 6.5. It actually hit 7.5 briefly, and now it's 3.5.
Oof.
So this is a huge, not only contrarian play, but I'll take it a step further. It's a sharp square divide. And those that watch my NFL Fade the Public video every week know I use that term quite often. And that is the best setup we look for when fading the public, is that when the average consensus bettor is on one side, and that's definitely Phoenix in this game. All the indicators I look at, it's 70% plus public, yet the line has dropped several points from the opener. So this is a sharp square divide. Hard to make a case for Chicago otherwise, but that definitely does look like the side you want to be on more times than not. And maybe one buy sign you could find with the Bulls is, like, this team was really struggling going into the All-Star break. But as we talk about, the All-Star break is often the momentum breaker for hot teams, or the fix or the alleviator for teams that are struggling. Chicago was 6 straight losses. They come out of the break now. They've gone 3-1 straight up their last 4. And more importantly, they've been playing good defense, as you hinted at, Joe. They've got about 42% shooting, or less in 3 of those 4 games, except for the last one, which is a win against Detroit, in which they allowed 50. I think that's a good wake-up call here. It's actually a good spot for Chicago. It's definitely a hold your nose and play the contrarian side with the Bulls plus 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, it's Phoenix has still got to work on some of the rotations, try to get the right guys. They are saying Durant may be still on a minutes limit here, although I don't know, he almost played 30 last game, so I don't know what the hell kind of limit that is. Anyway, guys, Chicago is the contrarian play of the day, getting those 3.5 points. And who are we to argue with the contrarian gods? Now we're going to focus on a featured matchup here tonight, one that a lot of eyes will be on this game out west, as the Denver Nuggets at home hosting the Memphis Grizz. Denver laying 5 in this one, 233.5. I think this was 5.5, I think, at one point this morning. It has come down a little bit now. We got 5s pretty much across the board. It's a interesting spot because normally we'd be, Andy, well, it's Memphis on the road. So, yep, no, we're good. We'll take Denver. And it may be that easy, but, I mean, am I crazy? It's like Jokic triple-double. Should we just bet it now? Or who are you looking at prop-wise in this game?
Jokic triple-double. That's literally the prop that I have. That's literally the prop that I have in this game. Yes, this is one of these plays that you just stick with it and you play it, night in and night out. He's done it in 2 straight games, 3 out of 4 and 13 out of 18 games. He did not have one on the 25th of February against Memphis, but the game was a blowout. He only played 27 minutes. Last game against Houston, sorry, Robert, he had a triple-double through 3 quarters. Didn't need the 4th quarter and still had the triple-double. It's a play you just commit to, and it's minus 120. And another interesting stat, in 2023, He's only gone 2 games in a row without a triple-double once, and that was January 2nd and 5th. So even if you're playing this and he has a night where he doesn't have a triple-double, you just come right back to him and play it again. It's a play you have to commit to. Maybe you just put 1 or 2 units aside each night that Jokic plays. But yeah, it's crazy to think that this guy is minus 120 to have a triple-double, and yet it's a great bet. So, yeah, Jokic triple-double. I know the Grizzlies have been playing a little bit better defense recently, but you get the road Grizzlies. You get Jokic with no Steven Adams. So, yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Jokic triple-double.
Listen, like we like to say, Andy, if it ain't broke, damn it, don't fix it. No reason to here as, it's not a stretch here. We know how they have trouble on the road, this Memphis Grizzlies team. So what are you thinking, Dwayne, in this matchup here? It's an intriguing total as well. Are you looking side or are you looking total in this matchup?
Yeah, I'm looking at the total in this one. Now, I know the line, at least the last I looked, it had ticked up a bit, but I leaned to the under in this one. I was able to find several strong situational angles through the SDQL database that support the under here. For example, the under is 5-0 this season when Memphis is on the road and coming off a game where they held their opponent to 105 points or less. These games went under by an average of 8.1 points per game. Also, the under is 7-1 this season when Memphis is on the road against great shooting teams like Denver that own a season shooting percentage of 48% or better. Those 8 games stayed under by an average of 13.2 points per game. There's also a league-wide situational angle that loves the under here. It says to play under if we have a total of at least 230 in a game with 2 teams that both have a winning percentage between 600 and 750. If one of these teams has covered the spread in 4 or 5 of its last 6 games. Since last season, the under is 16-2-1, staying under by an average of 8.7 points per game. And this season alone, that league-wide angle is 9-1-1, 90% to the under, and by an average of 10.8 points per game. So I do have a pretty strong lean to the under in this Memphis-Denver game.
Leaning towards the under. I would say the big difference between the game we saw in Memphis, in which they rolled over Denver, and this one, they're going to have Gordon back, which really helps that Denver defense. To Dwayne's point there, Steve. Do we want to get in front of this Denver train here, who at home might very well not take any prisoners here tonight? Or do you think Memphis is the side getting 5?
No, Denver's the side here for several reasons. And we talk a lot about revenge this time of year in college basketball. The last several weeks on the show, I bring it up almost, every other game we analyze because we had a lot of second meetings. We don't talk about it as much in the NBA, but this is a situation which I think it's a good revenge spot. And like I say in college hoops, there's a few parameters you look at when playing revenge situations. First of all, we want a good team. We want a team that's as good, if not better, capable of winning the game. That's definitely Denver here. They're a solid team. We also like strong home courts, like you mentioned, Joe. And Denver, the strongest in the NBA, 28-4 straight up at home, 21-10 against the number, by the way. So they're not only winning, but they're covering also. And then we want a good situational setup, and we have that here. Both teams played at Houston in their last game. They're both rested. Comparative analysis, not that it's worth anything, but the Nuggets won by 21. The Grizzlies won by 14. But once again, Houston, as I said earlier this week, no offense, Robert, I think they're tanking to try to improve their lottery odds for what it's worth. So you could almost make the case.
You knew it was
It's a good thing for the Rockets. That should be a bell. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, what else do you want? You want the number 1 pick. You got the next LeBron James coming out of France. But, I mean, aside from that Houston game, they've been off 4. There we go. Beauty. It's been like a 4-day rest. See, that was what you should have buzzed because they played the Rockets. It was like a bye. But look, I think it's a good setup. And then on top of that, Memphis is also playing on the road, second time in 3 nights, and altitude. So it's not a fluke that Denver has a strong home court with altitude. And by the way, last 2 seasons combined now, the home team, 5-1 straight up in ATS in this series, including 2-0 already this year. And that's why Denver has revenge. Both teams have won by double digits at home this season. This is one of the better setups I've seen this year in the NBA for a home revenge spot. I think the Nuggets are the play.
Nuggets it is for Steve Merrill. Going to be a fun one for sure here tonight, guys. Again, 10 o'clock Eastern time tip in Denver with the Grizz. And let's focus on a total if we can for one game. And it is, of course, our overtime section here on a Friday. And we are going to focus on, well, who else? Two teams that like to score a lot of points, that being the Atlanta Hawks at home taking on the Portland Trailblazers in this one here. 239 and a half is an open, and this should come to a shock to nobody. The total has been bet up here now. 241 and a half. And at first glance, unless something has changed here in this 4:30 report. So Anthony Simons came back, got hurt right at the end of the third quarter in their last game for Portland. He has now been ruled out, and it's they only ended up scoring 19 against New Orleans once he did leave the court, because it's going to be, well, you know who. It's either Dame time or no time for Portland, it seems. So the question is, and I'm not seeing anything crazy on Atlanta's injury report, Andy, do you focus on Lillard? Do you focus on Young? Who are some of the people prop-wise we should be looking at in this one?
Yeah, it's Trae Young for me. When they fired their coach, I immediately was like, take Trae Young over his points. Like there's no more green light for someone like Trae Young than when they fire the coach. And what happened? This prop has been just great. 34, 34, and 31 points in the 3 games since the coach was fired. Some other stats, he's averaging 23 shot attempts per game. He's 7 of 18 from 3-pointers in those games. He's 30 of 32 from the free throw line in those games. And for Portland, not a lot of defense. CJ McCollum just went for 24 points. Jordan Poole just had 29 against Portland. I'll ride Trae Young over 26.5 points for one more game. I think he can probably get to 30 again. I was pretty surprised that the books haven't moved this up past 26.5. I think there's still value on it until somebody on the team reels him in, which, based on some of the reports that we have coming out of Atlanta, nobody's going to reel in Trae Young in his shot. So while that's going on, yeah, let's go ahead and take Trae Young over his points tonight.
241 and a half. Very little, Dwayne, needs to go wrong for this thing not to sniff 240 points. So are you a believer that, hey, give me a 48-38 quarter and I'm good to go? Or you think this over is in trouble tonight?
I mean, this hits a few different ways for me. First, I love betting unders. I've always been more successful betting unders. And second, I love betting under the highest total of the day when there's at least 5 games on the NBA slate. If you had been blindly betting under the highest total every day this NBA season, that there were at least 5 games, you'd have cashed over 60% of your bets to this point. There's also a league-wide situational angle that comes into play here. This one doesn't come into play very often. It's only the 9th time it's been active over the last 5 seasons. But it says to play the under when one team is coming off a divisional loss as a favorite, if their opponent is coming off a double-digit loss as a home favorite. The under has gone 7-1 in this scenario. Atlanta's had 3 home games this season already with a total in the 240s. And the under hit in 2 of the 3 and by double digits. I mean, I know betting unders is scary enough for some folks, especially when you have teams that either play lousy or at a breakneck pace, or both. But this one checks enough boxes for me to lean to the under.
Looking at the under here, I had seen too this season, I believe, on totals of 240 or greater. 56 and 28 to the under, to Dwayne's point there, Merrill. So I'll give you one even better, though. The under is 6 and 3 when the Hawks have a 240 or greater total this season. So the market says over, but some of these numbers point to the under. Which way do you lie on this one?
Yeah, it's such an excellent point to talk about, because Ralph Michaels has mentioned this a few times this year. You know, over the last decade, if you just blindly played the over in these high total games, it was money in the bank. But that was also when it wasn't happening every single day. And like Dwayne said, this is common every day now. We have totals in this range, and they have been overinflated. And that's why blindly playing them under, whether on a daily basis or overall in the league wide, like you said, is almost a 65-70% winning play. And I think this is another situation where that applies tonight. When these teams played a little over a month ago into January, I remember watching that game that night. It was a shootout, 254 total points in regulation, 129, 125. That total closed around 237. So this is 2 baskets higher now. It's been inflated. And, Joe, you and I for the last couple of seasons have always said a lot has to go right to get over these 240 totals. Well, that was basically a perfect shooting game, and they still only got to 254. And I say only because they shot 55 and 47% from the field. The two teams combined to make 32 three-pointers, 48 and 43%. And they combined to make 48 free throws, 89 and 80%. They can't shoot any better than that. I know it went over by about 10 points, 13 points to be exact from this total, but still, I don't think that happens again tonight. Trae Young is probable. I expect him to be fine, but he is technically on the injury report with a soreness in the groin. We've all been there. But I do think there's a lot that can go wrong here to keep this one under 241 tonight.
All right, there you go here, guys. It's the largest one on the board here right now. Atlanta and Portland. That's going to be 7:30 tip. You know how that goes, though, ultimately. Before we get to the dogs here, big shout out to all you guys hanging out in the chat room with us live. We certainly appreciate that, man. Hit that like button and the subscribe button. We got Bert in the house. Catch you slipping in there. Professor Chris running shop in there. John Finley in the house. You guys rock. And it appears consensus is a lot of people in there go 240 just doesn't ever feel like it gets there. So how about the dogs here tonight with 10 games? 10 dogs, 10 games. Is Houston on? Oh, never mind. Go ahead, let's see it, Robin. I'm sorry.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
Well, I'm looking for it now. The two things: either Houston ain't playing tonight, or I don't know, or they're playing like a G League team. What is going on here? Charlotte is on the board as a dog. Portland, Brooklyn as a double-digit dog on the way to Boston. There, we got the Heat at home as a dog. Good. They deserve to be. Utah also a dog, as is the Bulls we talked about. Memphis, the Clippers. +8 there. They too are looking for that illustrious first win after the break. New Orleans and, of course, the Lakers. Lot of dogs, lot of interesting numbers here, Andy. So give us one that might bark here for you tonight. What do you like?
I'm going to go with the Brooklyn Nets +11. Woo! I thought this was going to be the contrarian gods. But yeah, I think this is just a little bit too many points for the Nets to get. I do like the way Boston's playing defense right now. They held Cleveland to 113, New York to 109, and Philly to 107. But here's what kind of jumps out to me. Over the last 10 games, Boston has the third lowest pace in the league. And they have only covered an 11-point spread one time in the last 11 games, and that was against Detroit. So I think this is a fairly low-scoring game, and when we get low-scoring games, each point becomes more and more valuable. The Nets are technically still in the playoffs. This is believe it or not, technically this is a playoff team. So they're going to still be fighting. They have a completely weird roster. I did a show with Jay Money, and Jay Money was at his best. We were laughing about how they don't have a point guard and they don't have a center. And I said, they just have like 8 wings, and Jay Money called them the 8-wing piece, all flats. And and that's just
Good
they
point.
just throw these wings out there. Mikal Bridges can put up some good points. They just have this odd roster, but they have all the motivation in the world to play hard. This is not a tanking team. Technically, this is a playoff or a play-in game team. So 11 points is too much against Boston, who's not blowing anybody out these days. So give me Brooklyn +11.
Brooklyn plus 11 here for Andy tonight with a side of barbecue sauce. Talk to me here, Dwayne. Which way are you rolling for a dog? Which one might be barking tonight for you?
Well, I'm going to start this with a disclaimer, man. Although it's a nice sized card today, it's one of those rare days where I'm not crazy about any of these dogs. No matter who I take here, I'm going to feel like I'm putting lipstick on a pig. So, but since I got to take one for the show, I'm going to take the Miami Heat. And the only reason I'm taking the Heat here is because it's a very contrarian play, and those are the plays I love. I mean, who's going to want Miami in this game? The Knicks have won and covered 7 straight games going back to before the All-Star break. 5 of the last 6 wins were by double digits, and 3 of them were by more than 20 points. And one of those double-digit wins was a 15-point win over Boston. And then on the other side, Miami's lost 5 of its last 6, both straight up and against the spread. They couldn't even beat Charlotte this past weekend. And to make matters worse, Jimmy Butler's banged up, and he may not play. The last I looked. So, I mean, over their last 8 games, New York owns the #1 offensive rating, and San Antonio is the only reason Miami isn't dead last in offensive rating in that same time frame. So, I mean, it may be a short line, but this is an ugly dog. But ugly dogs need love too, man. So, I mean, I'm going to take the Miami Heat as my dog for the show.
All right, listen, getting points at home with Miami, never a bad thing there. What do you think about Merrill? There is, well, you can't go Houston here and suck back up to Robert. So which dog are you looking at here on the board?
Yeah, I was actually trying to narrow it down to a couple. And I thought Miami was one of my final 2. Since Dwayne used it, I'll use a different one. So I do agree with Miami there. In fact, if anything, you know, what we've seen the last couple of years, you probably want Butler not to play, and then the Heat will win outright. But that line has gone from a favorite to a dog roll. So a lot of uncertainty there. But let's talk about another game, which has been a vast over-adjustment from just a few weeks ago, or about a week ago. You know, back 2 Fridays ago, actually, no, last Friday. I'm confusing myself because February 24th was just last Friday, I believe. And, you know, or about a week ago, they played the second highest scoring game in NBA history, and that was the Kings and Clippers. And in that game, the Clippers were a 6.5-point favorite. Now you flash forward about a week later, they're a 7.5-point dog. That's like a 14-point turnaround. That's a 2-touchdown turnaround after losing by 1 at home. And I know the Kings have been in excellent current form. We've talked about them on the show. Play on team after the All-Star break, a perfect 4-0 straight up in ATS since the break. Meanwhile, the Clippers are a perfect 0-4 straight up in ATS since the break. But I think this is an over-adjustment. Would not be surprised to see this game a lot closer. And I also think the contrarian under could be worth a look here after that shootout a week ago. So under and the Clippers, an underdog and an under for you in this segment.
Boom! There we go here, guys. 10 games, a lot of different ways to look at this card here tonight and cash some tickets. Let's check out what the best bets are going to be here tonight. All right, you guys know how it works. We'll throw 60 seconds on the clock, and these guys can do whatever the hell they want with it as long as they drop in a best bet for us. And Andy, a lot of different props on this board here tonight to go. Give us one you like a little more than the rest.
Can do. We got a 5% UFC play that is up. We do have our NBA best bet that is up right now on a really nice 8-3 run in NBA. NHL props are up tonight. If you guys have been following NHL props, A, congratulations. B, get ready for tomorrow. We got a loaded day in NHL props tomorrow. Very, very excited about that. Tomorrow's going to be a really, really big day for myself and clients. For best bet, listen, nobody likes being in the doghouse. I know that. Trey Murphy is in the doghouse, apparently. So take his under 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Not really sure what happened with Trey Murphy, but his production has fallen off a cliff since the All-Star break. 11, 15, 13. He played 32 minutes the other night and finally had 17, but the books have his points, rebounds, and assists at 19.5. His minutes are down. His shot attempts are down. He's not getting the production. Take Trey Murphy under his PRA tonight for the best bet.
Boom! All right, Trey Murphy under PRA here tonight for Andy. How about you, Dwayne? 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us which way you're rolling for a best bet.
Well, Joe, we've made it all the way to the end of the show, and I haven't disagreed with anybody. So what do you think's going to happen next? My best bet, and this is going to be as square as a Rubik's Cube, but I am going to say lay the heavy lumber with the Boston Celtics tonight. The Nets haven't won a game since coming out of the All-Star break. They lost by 44 points in Chicago. They lost by 14 at home against Milwaukee. And most recently, they broke out the old Matador capes, and they let the Knicks put up over 140 points on 61% shooting. Only Houston has a worse defensive rating over its last 8 games than Brooklyn. Boston already owns 3 wins over Brooklyn this season, and all by 11 points. So what's one more? Brooklyn's 0-4 straight up, 1-3 against the spread as a divisional road dog this season. Lost those games by over 22 points per game. I'll say lay it with the Boston Celtics tonight.
All right, going with the Celtics to get it done. I knew it was in there. I knew it was coming, Dwayne. I knew it was coming, man. No way could you be that on the same page with everyone. Talk to me, Merrill, here. You got 60 seconds. I know you're going to get a lot of math in here and promotions, so go ahead. Drop a best bet in there. Tell us where you're going.
Number one ranked in the NBA. Number one ranked in the NBA in 2023. 41 units won on a 30-18 start for this calendar year. That's about one play a day in the NBA, less than one. But I've got 3, count them, 3 strong NBA best bets for tonight on Friday. I love this card. A 3-for-1 special right now for one night, or get 7 days of the NBA for just $39 complete with promo code DUNK39 on my page, SteveMerrillWagerTalk.com. Also have a bonus college basketball free play tonight, 70% free play run there. And my March Madness contest is live, went up to a full year, $2,000 worth of best bets by entering free. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Let's look at the Chicago Bulls here. Huge contrarian call here with the Bulls against the Suns, but it's a bad spot for Phoenix. Just beat Charlotte. They have a huge look ahead at Dallas on Sunday. And the Bulls, after going 0-6 before the All-Star break, have quietly gone 3-1 straight up their last 4. The break served them well. Hold your nose and play the contrarian home dog, Chicago Bulls, plus 3.5 tonight on Friday.
All right, we got ourselves some plays here on a loaded card tonight. Let's recap them for you. As Andy, he's gonna go Brooklyn plus 11 here tonight on the road against the against those Celtics, while his best bet is going to be Trey Murphy under the 19.5 PRA. Now, Dwayne, he likes Miami as the dog, although it is ugly, that is for sure. But we knew he was going to go opposite of somebody at some point, and he did. He's going to lay it with Boston here tonight for his best bet. While Steve, the Clippers, I can't believe he went Clippers, but he went Clippers plus 8 with, what was that, Russell Brickfest there? That was fantastic. Plus 8 now here, and his best bet, though, he's going to be in agreement with the contrarian gods as Chicago plus 3.5 against Phoenix at home. That's the way he's rolling. But hey, don't guess here, guys. Best bets are available for all 3 of these guys right now at their page at WagerTalk.com. You just heard Steve do a whole lot of math and codes and everything else right now, all available to you. I would say those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all access packages are the way to go. Never miss a beat. Go visit Andy's page now, Dwayne's page, as well as R1L Merrill's page over at WagerTalk.com. And let's cash some damn tickets here tonight. What is going to be to start the very first weekend in the month of March. Madness is almost upon us. It is time to make some money here, guys. And I want to say a big shout out to those guys in the chat room again. We appreciate you guys. Catch you slipping, Professor Chris. Bud was in there too, I saw earlier. Appreciate you guys. Best of luck with all your plays this week. And regardless, make sure you come back and join us on Monday. Another week of NBA action will be upon us, and we'll be here for you. So on behalf of Andy, Dwayne, and Steve, guys, best of luck again with all those plays this weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday. Good luck.
How do you like to finish the college basketball season paying under $30 per week? Between now and Selection Sunday on March 12th, there's still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special that will include the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA tournament through the national championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. That's right, from Monday, February 27th through Monday, April 3rd, there are 5 full weeks of hoops action, which breaks down to under $30 per week. Sign up for this promotion now on your favorite handicappers homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the national championship in Houston on Monday, April 3rd, plus all non-March Madness tourneys, including the NIT and CBI, all for only $149. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experiences in sports. Some call March Madness the most exciting time in sports betting, so act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time. Grab your favorite college basketball handicapper, or perhaps add 2 or 3 college hoops experts to make this March Madness not only exciting, but also profitable. No coupon is needed, just head to the homepage of the handicapper of choice and lock the $149 price in now. As the earlier you sign up, the more days you